Our company manages SEO, Google ads, and local service ads for almost 100 contractors every single day. I see the dashboards, I see the leads, I see the cost per lead on every single channel. And the number one question I get from contractors is, Adam, I don't have an unlimited budget. If I could only pick one platform to invest in or one strategy, which would it be? So that's why today we're going to cover all of that. I'm going to break down all three channels between SEO, LSA, and Google ads, rank them head to head, and then give you the exact budget split I'd recommend depending upon what you can afford. This video is the video that I wish every contractor would watch before they spend a single marketing dollar. And in the previous video that just went out, I broke down exactly how you should budget from a percentage standpoint based on your revenue goal for a given year. Before I break down each channel, I need to show you something, and I need you to walk through this. If you pull up Google right now, whether on your phone or on your computer, and you search roofer near me or plumber near me or whatever the keyword is that you want to go do, look at what you see. Before you see everything else, you've got local service ads. These are the ones that come with the Google guaranteed check mark, the process that a company has to go through in order to get verified, right? They have to go through and jump through some hoops. The homeowner sees business name, they see your reviews, they see your phone number, they click, they call, you pay per lead and not pay per click. And if the lead is not a valid lead, meaning somebody in your area that needs a service you offer, then you are likely going to get a refund or a credit back. Then below that, you'll typically have a Google ad or two. Those are the paid search results. They say sponsored next to them. And then below that, you have the Google Map Pack, which is your Google business profile. And then that is where local SEO kicks in. And below that, you have the regular organic search results, which is traditional SEO. So when a homeowner searches for your service, there are 4 different places you could potentially show up. And a lot of our clients have 4 different spots on any given page of Google. They're ranking in all of those different spots are paying for digital real estate through paid ads. LSAs are at the top, then traditional paid ads, then the map pack, then organic. And here's the one thing that most contractors miss. The higher you are on this page, the more leads you get. A lot of people are like, well, if I'm already ranking for SEO, I don't necessarily know if I want to pay for a paid ad. Well, you want to have both because it increases your chances of being able to ultimately have multiple leads. But each position has a different cost, a different speed, and a different level of quality of that lead. So let's go ahead and break down each one. Let's go ahead and start with local service ads because in 2026, this is the most important channel that most contractors are still ignoring. Local service ads are Google's pay-per-lead platform for home service businesses. You don't pay pay-per-click, you actually pay pay-per-lead. So when someone calls you or messages you through the ad, that's when you get charged. And now they appear at the very top of Google search results above everything else. And so depending upon your industry, here's what you need to know. Some of our clients that are in landscaping or outdoor living in a rural market are paying as low as $20 per lead. And then we have even more complicated, more complex, more competitive industries and marketplaces in roofing, HVAC, and plumbing, where you might pay $80+ depending upon your trade and market. Those tend to be on the higher end. With that, the key is that these are actual leads and not clicks. And as I mentioned before, if you ultimately get a lead that comes in that's a current client, a competitor, somebody trying to just spam you, somebody calling in for a service you don't offer or a location you don't do, you are likely going to get a credit back, which is awesome. On the flip side, with Google ads, you might pay $30 for a click and that person doesn't even call you. With LSAs, you only pay when someone actually reaches out. And then we need to talk about speed, right? Speed of this. This is the fastest channel to get results. You can go from setup to receiving leads in just a couple of days, depending upon how long the verification takes with Google Guaranteed. If you haven't been verified before, it'll take 2 to 3 weeks. But if you've already been verified and you just need to turn the campaign back on, we did it last week for a client and they had a lead same day that came in, booked appointment literally right away. The verification process is the bottleneck. You need to pass a background check, potentially provide insurance and licensing, depending upon your industry and your location. But once approved, leads should start flowing immediately. Now let's talk a little bit about lead quality. I'd rate LSA leads as a solid 8 out of 10. These are people who are actively searching for your service. They see your reviews, they see that you're Google guaranteed, and they're reaching out. So the intent is very high. Now, the only knock is that some leads are tire kickers and potentially wrong numbers or wrong services, but Google lets you dispute those and again, get the credit back. Now, with that being said, I always tell people is on a true lead, you have a 33% chance right off the bat. They're either going to go with you, they're going to go with one of your competitors, or they're not going to do the job. I like those chances there, and that's a game I want to play. There's long-term ROI there. Now, the catch with LSA is they're essentially rented lead flow. The moment you stop paying, the leads stop. There's no compounding effect like SEO. You also really can't control your positioning as much or as precisely as you can with Google Ads. Google decides where you rank in LSAs based on reviews, responsiveness, which is key, meaning you're responding quickly to inbound leads, proximity, and then of course budget. So next up we have traditional Google Ads, also known as PPC or pay per click. This is the channel that most contractors are familiar with. You bid on keywords like roof repair near me, emergency plumber in my city, and your ad shows up in the sponsored section of Google search results. As we talk about cost, Google Ads for contractors are typically expensive. You could be paying $15 to $75 per click. Of course, not every click turns into a lead. On average, about 10 to 15% of clicks should convert into a phone call or form submission. So if you're paying $30 per click and converting at 10%, your cost per lead is effectively going to be $300. Now, that's some real money and some real investment. Now, with good campaign management, you can get that conversion rate up to 20, 25, or even 30%, which would then bring your cost per lead down to $100 or $150 if you're still paying at that $30 cost per click, which starts to make sense for some of the higher ticket services like roofing or HVAC. Now, with speed, Google Ads are fast, not as fast as LSA, but close. You can have a campaign up and running and within a week start seeing data within the first few days that then ultimately generates you leads. Now, the optimization phase on this typically takes about 90 days to truly dial in your targeting and bring those costs down. In an optimized and solid, properly budgeted campaign, I'd say lead quality is about 6 out of 10, sometimes much lower and sometimes even much higher. These leads are high intent typically when you have the right strategy because they're actively searching, but you're competing on a page full of other ads and organic results. The homeowner might click 3 or 4 ads and go with whoever answers the phone first, so your sales process and speed to lead matter a lot here. There is, when it comes to long-term return on investment, similar to LSAs, the moment you stop paying, the leads stop. But Google Ads do give you much more control. You can target specific keywords, specific neighborhoods, specific times of day. You can run campaigns only for your highest margin services. That level of control can make a huge difference when it comes to profitability. Now, last but not least, let's talk about SEO. And I'll be honest, this is the channel that I'm most passionate about. It has literally allowed us to start businesses that were otherwise non-existent previously. And I love it because it's the best ROI, not because it's sexy or fast, but because the math over time is literally unbeatable. SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's the process of getting your website to show up in the organic search results and your Google business profile to show up in the Google Map Pack without paying per click. Now, when it comes to cost, good SEO for a contractor is going to run you $1,500 to $4,000, potentially more dollars a month, depending upon your market and the competition. Have multiple locations if you want a higher level of a deliverable. And now, unlike ads, you're not paying per click or per lead. You're paying for the work, the content creation, the website optimization, the link building, the Google Business Profile Management. The cost per lead from SEO is going to look terrible early on compared to what it will look like months down the line. Hopefully by month 6, right, it's the cheapest lead source that you have. Now, when we talk about speed of all of this is SEO's biggest weakness. Typically, it's going to take 3 to 6 months to see meaningful results and 6 to 12 months to really hit your stride. Sometimes 12 to 24 months if you're in a very tough industry location or if your domain or company is newer. And that's not what a lot of people talk about. They'll tell you, right, that it's going to happen sooner. If you need leads next week or yesterday, SEO is not going to be your answer if you can only do one of these. But if you want leads compounding month over month for the next 3 to 5 years, there's absolutely nothing better. And then the quality of those leads, I would rate it 9 out of 10. SEO leads are the highest quality leads that you can get. Why? Because the homeowners searched for your service, found your website organically, meaning Google essentially endorsed you for free by reading your content, looking at your reviews, and then they decided to call you. By the time they pick up the phone, they already trust you. Close rates on SEO leads are typically much higher than paid ads by 25 to 40%. And with long-term return on investment, this is where SEO is going to destroy every single channel. Once you rank, you rank. Yes. If you don't maintain it, if you stop doing SEO, if you stop consistently adding new content to your website or taking care of your Google business profile, you potentially will lose ground on all that. But the effort, right, eventually over time will go down while leads stay steady or even continue to grow. That is the compounding effect of SEO, which is real and powerful. So let's put it all together. Here's my tier list for contractors that are looking to identify the right marketing channels in 2026. If you only care about getting leads this week, then LSA is going to win. No questions asked. Fastest to results, lowest cost per lead of any paid ad platform, and the highest position on Google. If you only care about control and targeting, then Google Ads is going to win. You can target specific keywords, neighborhoods, times of day, and actual services and projects you offer. No other channel gives you that level of precision. And if you care about long-term growth and ROI, SEO wins by a mile. The compounding effect means your cost per lead drops every single month while your lead volume ultimately grows. But here's the real talk, the answer that nobody really wants to hear. And the right strategy, unfortunately, is all three of these things working together. Our most successful clients are the ones that do all three of these and even do Facebook and social media ads. When you run LSA, Google Ads, and SEO at the same time, something magical happens. You show up in multiple positions on the same search page for results. The homeowner sees your LSA at the top, the ad in the middle, your organic listing with your Google business profile below, and then even your website. That could be 2 to 4 touch points from one single search. So let's get practical a little bit and talk about budget splits. Here's exactly how I would split your budget depending upon what you can afford. So if you can only do $3K a month, you're typically just looking at SEO and your Google business profile management, planting seeds for the future, and then putting some money into LSA because you also typically do need leads now. I would skip Google Ads for now and focus just on LSA because they will give you more bang for your buck at this budget. Now with $5K a month, bump up your SEO, get a little bit higher of a package, more content, etc. Maybe increase your LSA a little bit, but add about $1,500 for Google Ads so you can target your highest value services only. And then at $10K a month, you're running all three of these at full throttle, higher SEO stuff, continuing to do that with the Google business profile, $3 to $4K a month on Google Ads across all of your service lines, increasing your LSA budget, making sure that's maxed out, and then spending maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a month on social media and retargeting. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to look at your current marketing spend, right? Map it to the tiers I just showed you. If you're not running LSAs yet, that's probably your quickest win. If you're not investing in long-term strategies with SEO, you're leaving ROI and money on the table months and years from now to be continued in perpetuity. And if you're only running one of these channels, you're giving your competitors an opening. If you want us to look at your specific market and tell you exactly which channels to prioritize and ultimately how to split that budget, book a free strategy call. The link is in the description. We'll pull up your market data, look at what your competitors are doing, and give you a custom recommendation. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want more content just like this. I'm putting out a new video every single week specifically built for contractors who want to grow with smart marketing. Drop a comment. Tell me which of these channels is working best for you. I love seeing the comments. I read every single one. I'll respond to all of them. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.